would strongly suggest those individuals that partook and basically harassing our company and carrying on and acting with such awful behavior that you carry yourself with some kind of posure due to the fact that there are open cases and investigations going on. We had to take a few people to court and they're going to be prosecuted. So just putting it out there for open mic. If we don't mind people coming in and asking questions. Before we couldn't do this because we had people that were stalking us and just carrying on, just for acting up. And I would love to have open mic. I would love to talk to other people on my YouTube channel, but that was virtually impossible because of the individuals that were hounding our company due to jealousy and everything else you can name under the sun. So now we have open cases against these individuals and they will be brought in for prosecution. We would strongly advise you to, act like you got some common sense. You are being watched, so you know that you are under an investigation, so you know this 100%. I said before, your YouTube channel, all your platforms, everything is being watched. You're under surveillance now because collecting evidence for court. So again, I've always wanted to have an open mic to connect with my customers. We just haven't had that ability because of the rumors that were started by one individual trying to destroy our company and what we're trying to build. All right, so of course they're going to be upset by this because this bothers a lot of people about the batch number guarantee, and it's something that's needed. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition LLC. We got the company we're working on, should be hopefully today, upgrades for that, Imperial Crystal Edge technology screens, got the Imperial gunmetal coming out, and I got orders to send off to customers. And of course, on the back of their containers, they have the new batch number. This is a batch number guarantee. This guarantees customers that they're getting exactly what they paid for. Anyone who's angry by this statement, it clearly shows your product was not tested, never was tested, and you started selling an item online, making money off of it without 100% guarantee that it actually was going to work. That means maybe you lied in your specification sheets, somewhere along the line, something irritating you about what I'm saying. It's a wake-up call. Your product needs to be tested. Customers need to know exactly what they are purchasing. They have that right. So I'm not the bad guy in all this. It's supposed to be done. You go out and people who make these products, keep in mind, you want to guarantee that your computer monitors, computers, gaming systems, TVs, washers and dryers, even the brakes on your vehicle, you want to make sure all that's guaranteed is going to work 100%. So how come the product that you sell to customers doesn't have a guarantee attached to it? So this right here, I can find the container because I'm about to ship them out. Oh, here it is over here. This right here we have are the new batch number guarantee labels right here, which has the date of where we make the product. So keep in mind, we don't show making the product. That would basically go against our guidelines, but we do a batch number. Within the batch number, we bring out a 5-gallon container and the product is mixed in the 5-gallon container. Once it is thoroughly mixed in the 5-gallon container, we do test it right there on camera, which means it's tested against contrast levels. Of course, it has to be in a well-lit environment because you want to make sure you're not being duped and buying a product that claims it can work in a fully lit environment, and then you get it home and it washes out on you. So fully lit environment, contrast levels, color levels, just make sure the product's working perfectly fine. And one of the most important tests you're going to have to be the display on that is basically a black versus black or gray versus gray. Yes, you're going to have to put that product against gray paint. We have to put our product against black paint. My last batch number, which we did on that container, it's pretty long, but it's interesting. We ripped up a cardboard box, stapled it to a wall, coated it in our technology, and then basically proceeded to put that technology, tested our white levels, contrast, color. But not only that, we actually put it against black paint and fabric to ensure that the product doesn't match any of those. And that's a reassurance that the customer is not getting shipped everyday house paint. Now, why is this important? Because again, you could get shipped everyday house paint. That's what could happen. You can get shipped to Home Depot, Sherman-Williams, Benjamin Moore, any one of those products can be shipped to you, and you wouldn't know the difference. How would you know? You could go right down to Home Depot or any one of these convenience stores, and you could, or hardware stores, and could have purchased the same paint at $30 a gallon instead of spending $60 to $50 to $100 a quart. Our paint isn't exactly, it's considered cheap, considered the certified screens we knock out time to time. But still, $300, $400 for paint, we have to make sure that our product is properly tested. That I can walk into any courtroom, if anyone files a lawsuit against me, I can walk in any courtroom, any place, and back my product. I can go on any site, back my product. And the reason why I can do this is because all our stuff is tested. We have tons of test demonstrations. You can't bump into YouTube without bumping into one of our videos. We have over 10,000 video demonstrations, over 9,000 video demonstrations on YouTube right now and growing. So, if it doesn't have a batch number, you don't buy it because, again, you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what you're buying. Perfect example, we call this guy the individual. Now, keep in mind, I did talk to my attorneys. We can mention, because basically it does involve, and it's something very extremely important and should be exposed. We can mention, we can't contact. So basically, a fellow by the name of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez, or can't say that either. A fellow by the name of Crow 1176. Crow's Screen Paint Mixes basically has a company. This is a company who sells these products. And he ended up matching house paint and a demonstration. And this is what raises the high concern on why these products have to be tested and why they require batch numbers. Because can you imagine if he was doing a batch number and that had popped up? More so, the owner, to protect himself from customers that may want to do him dirty, should have these batch numbers in place. This is what protects the owner and also guarantees the customer. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to protect yourself. Because if someone says, hey, look, I got this product, it's doing this, it's doing that, and so forth, how do you fight that claim? How do you fight that claim in court? How do you win it? Our batch number allows our company to be able to keep from getting scammed. Because if someone says, hey, look, we got this product, it came up too dark, and we can look at it and tell from the testing. We've done enough testing on black versus black to know if it's black paint. We can tell by looking at it. We've done enough of them. I can literally do that in a courtroom with no problem because we've done enough of those tests. But not only that, our products are all made in 5-gallon containers. That means if your product went bad, that means everybody else's product is going bad. On top of that, like I said, they're tested before we sell them. They're tested before we ship them out. So there's no way around that at all whatsoever. So that's why that batch number is very important for us to have, because it protects our company. But on top of that, it also gets the company, our customer, a 100% guarantee to not being shipped house paint. So consider the fact that the fellow who matched the house paint, you can go over to our blacklist. I'll put the link below and you can look at the demonstrations for yourself. This fellow went in, did a demonstration, network grade 773 versus it's supposed to be his top flagship screen paint. Had it on a tri-laser Optima P2 projector, very high-end projector, and he matched. He blended into the paint. So consider the fact that all the people who had purchased that product before that demonstration was done, they got burnt because, again, they bought a product believing that it was going to be something completely different. It was going to be the enhancer projector. It was something that he claimed that it would do things that other screen paints couldn't do, and he ended up matching a regular everyday house paint that would cost the consumer anywhere around $30 a gallon compared to the time he was selling it around $85. Yeah, they got ripped off. And he cheated himself because, again, the reason why he can't get what his product is worth, and the reason why you can't get what your product is worth if you're selling it below under $100 or in the $100 mark, is because you have no real testing to basically make the customer want to buy your product. We have customers that will spend $500 for our product because we can show that we can take out a $3,000 to $5,000 certified screen. And these are people who got money at the end of the day. They can spend that kind of money for that type of screen. So for them, at the end of the day, when they see that demonstration, this saves them a ton of money. They get the same, better high-end technology for something that they were going to easily go out and spend $5,000 for anyway. That's why our product sells. So if you're looking for budget products, then you're going to get what you paid for. You're going to get a product that's not tested. They can't test these screens. They can't pass the gray versus gray. There's just way too many tones out there to try to pass one of those things. Virtually impossible. You would have to integrate into black technology to do it. So, and then once you integrate into black technology, it gets a little harder because black technology is even harder to even prove that even works. So you're going to have a ton of testing in order to convince someone that a black screen can literally do what it's designed to do. Because yeah, there's supposed to be screens that don't exist. That's why. But anyway, long story short, all in all, you have to have a batch number. Depending on whatever you're selling, whatever you have, screen paints need to have batch numbers because again, you could get anything slid off a hardware storage shelf, and it can be sold to you. You have no idea at all or any way to say, hey, this is not what it's supposed to be. How would you even know? Unless you go to Home Depot and you splash some great paint against your paint, then you'll find out that, hey, half of the paints that you can buy at Home Depot will do the exact same thing that these products can do. As for the seller, you should want to do this 100%. There is no way in the world you should be arguing with me or upset with me because I'm requesting batch numbers. The only reason why you're upset because your gravy train got derailed. You can't go on YouTube. You can't talk about the colors. You can't talk about the contrast. You can't talk blah, 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 blah. None of that. This is why I was telling you from day one, your stuff needs to be tested. Because now you got to require batch numbers. I'm going to push that on every form site. Every place I go, I'm going to push that campaign. Online, offline, that before you buy any screen paint, a batch number must be required. Because this keeps the customer getting ripped off. You high-end companies, you don't want to know what I found out about your product. I'm not going to say anything about it. You'll figure it out. I'll send you some of those short videos, private videos, because I'm not going to put you on blast, and I will basically send you over test results that we've done against your products and your stuff matched. I could literally save a ton of money. I don't need to buy your stuff. I can literally go down to any one of these hardware shops and do the same thing your product can do. So you literally need to have batch numbers underneath your products. Some people think I'm singling out one person. No, it's not two people. It's everybody. Everybody who sells a screen paint product needs to have one of these batch numbers. So, again, I told you from the door that when I got into this business, I didn't get into the business to save money for customers, but we do things by the book 100%. And the only reason why people hate us, we got people at the end of the day that want to push people to hate us and can't stand. Our products are number one. They're going to be number one. They're actually the best products on the market. And the reason why is because we test our stuff. All our stuff is guaranteed. Everybody else, they're not guaranteed. And the reason why they can't stand us is because we request things that they don't want to do at the end of the day. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to have to roll up your sleeves. You're going to have to work for it, just like we did. And if that means you have to cancel out an entire product line, so be it. You're going to have to do it. Because, again, you're supposed to be serving the customers, not serving yourself. So if the customers can't get a product that's guaranteed and doesn't work, then you shouldn't be selling them anything. Because the last thing you want is some YouTuber to pop up and start grabbing your products. I don't have the time to do it and really don't care for it. But you have another YouTuber pop up and start buying your stuff and seeing how close your stuff compares to some of these great paints out here. You're going to be pretty shocked. I would suggest them get a really good lawyer because when you start hitting the big companies, they're going to be really nasty about it. Even though you do have that right within your guidelines, they're going to be pretty nasty about it. I've been there before on that one. We beat a couple of screens. And I got a couple of cease and desist orders because I beat a few screens, a couple of big companies. They get nasty. But anyway, yeah, you need to know exactly what you're getting. You know, it's interesting. We're supposed to be the scammers. We're supposed to be the fraud at the end of the day, but we're the ones pushing to make sure that customers don't get ripped off. And yet we're the one getting all the flack and all the hatred at the end of the day because we want to derail the gravy train. That sounds kind of interesting, isn't it? Let's paint a picture. Let's make these guys look like they're dirty individuals. So that way we can taint them and continue to rip off customers. Yeah, at the entire time, we were the ones who were basically giving out the call, a warning that this was coming. With the knockoff projectors, fake screens, and everything else you got pumping up. But we're the ones actually telling you all this stuff is coming. So your products, gentlemen, have to be batch number tested. They have the batch number guarantee. Customers are not going to buy your product unless you can show that your product can be batch number tested. And keep in mind, all batch number tests have to be done live. Live, which means make any mistakes, you're going to have problems, a lot of problems. And keep in mind, if your product is tested and you have tested your product thoroughly, you haven't cut any corners to try to make your product look good, you should pass a batch number with no problem. We do it all the time. Got batch numbers coming up for every single thing that I make. Every order that you put out has to have a batch number next to it. And this right there scares the crap out of some people. It does. It scares them to death. But if it scares you and this bothers you, then you shouldn't be selling it. It means you're a scammer. That's what it means. You committed fraud and you're a scammer. If you're making false claims that your product has a range gain, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to prove that it has a range gain. Not only that, you're going to have to show how you perform the range gain. We have people who lie on specification sheets. Can't put that in there. One of my personal favorites I love is when people explain that you can't do something with the product, but won't tell you why you can't do something with the product. I seen it with the company yesterday. You can't work it with short throw projectors. Why can't you work it with short throw projectors? Now I got to go on freaking YouTube and figure out why this screen doesn't operate with a short throw projector, which is not my concern because our technology, once we code it, will make it work with ultra short throw projector, but still curious why. Usually darker screens have that issue. All right, well, that's basically about it. So again, if it doesn't have a batch number attached to it, there are labels right here, 100% guarantee. You don't have a batch number attached to it, then bottom line, don't buy it because you don't know what you're purchasing and you don't know what you're buying at all, period. Let's give you a little wake-up call video. So this right here on our page, we call this a blacklist. And the blacklist, which we're going to be adding some stuff on there, it got overwhelmed by people that were just doing things they just should not have been doing. We literally going to have to put a section here for scam paints. But anyway, this was, when we first started this site, it was about knockoff projectors. I can see the first videos that come off were about knockoff projectors because they were just running rampant at one point. We're running rampant now, but just YouTubers were coming on and claiming that these projectors were legit and these projectors were trash. We had to come in and buy those projectors and show those projectors were trash. These are top knockoffs we don't support and will never support. And this is one of the biggest scammers we have on YouTube. Now, as for the individual, you can sit there and say, I can call you a scammer because you continue to sell these products long after you found out that your products were matching these products. As a matter of fact, you even sold this one too, and this is a Metallica 2.0, which basically is a free mixture which you sold on your site several times. We have all that documented. Everything's documented, everything is recorded. This is our video showing you that the products will match house paint, showing the product is not tested. This is his video doing the demonstration later on and the product matching. And this is us making your products, 3 of them, by using the ingredients you show here how to make people for free. This is this tutorial video showing you how to make black and white paint. But now today, you don't have to worry about mixing black and white paint. You don't have to worry about ingredients because they have these things called tones. These are paints that are automatically tinted to a perfect color that they can easily match a screen paint with no problem. And these are the pictures results of his product from his video that he did of the Network Gray versus the Cinemax. And this is how close, or actually it did match 100%. Keep in mind that the Network Gray is a little lighter than the Cinemax, so we did the test ourselves, but it still matched. And this is the reason why, for his own protection, he should have made sure his products were tested. Can you imagine if he was on site and this happened? This would terrify me. This would terrify me if I was on site and my paint blended into something like that. How do you walk away from that? And of course he was embarrassed. He was extremely embarrassed in the live stream. This is why people that are making new screen paints are coming up and you're trying to get into this field, make sure all your stuff is properly tested. Okay, if you cheat on your test, this will come back to bite you in the face, especially using those dark environments. This is involved. This is something else. It's mail fraud. All right, here we go right here. And we got it on 2 different videos here. And this is the reason why we suggest when people say, why is a batch number needed? This is why batch numbers are needed. And make sure you don't get ripped off. So in the video title right here, we have the fellow by the name of Crow. This is his business, Crow Cinemax Mix. That's the name of the product. What he's testing against is versus the Sherwin-Williams Network Grade 773. This is why we push, and I don't like to say things again out of my mouth without basically backing them up. And when I say someone match, I'm going to show you that they match. And this is what happened in his demonstration. Now, if his product was properly tested, he would have realized that he's matching several different forms of gray paint. In this video, he just goes on to tell you that there is a difference between his product and the network grade. His product has better hue, it has better contrast, it has better white levels and better color. But no, he matched the screen. And in this video also too went missing. Yes, he removed the video from the account. Now, for the individual who this video belongs to, again, I know you're going to get that feeling that we're picking on you, but no one's picking on you. You are the perfect poster child for why batch numbers must exist. This is why. And if you want to take this before a judge, I have no problem with going before a judge and saying, hey, look, Your Honor, this person went out and he never tested his products. He sold these products to the public. He convinced them that they were completely different. And in the end, in his own test, after we did the test already, he's telling him that his product was ripping people off. He did the demonstration and it matched. And just to add, he tried to remove the videos off his account and still continue to sell these products and do YouTube videos as if this never happened. Go ahead and do it. You'll be charged with fraud. Because the minute you found out that product at match, you should have gave an apology to your customers, apologizing for what happened. You should have gave them a guarantee that all your products would be tested against these products to show that they're never going to match. And again, batch number guarantee. I mean, you copy stuff off our site all the time. Why don't you copy the batch number guarantee? Which you won't do that because you can't back your products. That's what you should have did. And you should have returned any money that was within the guidelines of the product being returned back to the customers. Did he do that? No. He continued to sell the product, which we have proof and evidence of that. So go ahead, open up a court case and see what happens. You know, once they start digging into fraud, they start digging into your company's business, which means they start digging into proper paperwork that was actually supposed to be properly done. And yeah, they're going to hit that landmine. Definitely going to hit that landmine. So they're him bearing the receipt. This is what you call at the end of the day, people, when you are too arrogant. See, on our end, we know we're going to be black paint fabrics, but we've done the test. That's one of the tests a screen paint has to go through, is a black versus black. It literally has to go through that test. So we know if we have to do the test again, we've done this one already. It was the cakewalk. We've done these already before. We do dozens of these, so like easy. But if you've never done one of these tests and you have to do one of these, you don't know what the outcome could be. Maybe you'll pass, maybe you won't pass. You don't know this 100%. That's not where you want to be at. Now watch this. It just blends right on in. Let me say something real quick. This is interesting. And you ever look at this? His projector has a contrast of 2 million to 1. I told you at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference if you have a projector of 2 million, 10 million, 20 million. It doesn't make a difference. You can't pick up on a gray screen. It won't register. You ever notice this? You know what that background is? It's an LG OLED TV display. You know what color that is? It's black. It is 100% black. He was so occupied by the house paint that he didn't realize that his screen didn't even pick up an ounce of contrast with a 2 million to 1 contrast ratio on his projector. Look at that. That's gray. That's supposed to be black, not gray. This is what people were doing when they were watching the video. They were pulling it apart and going, wait. You got a what? That's a P2 in there. 2 million to 1 contrast. Now, again, how do you go back and you show pictures of the P2 of the woman with the black makeup on and the images are dark, claiming that his product pulls a black level, but right here against a house paint, he's coming up gray. He's not pulling a contrast level at all. He outed his product on so many levels, it's not even funny. Because he can't run the risk of putting this product in a really dark environment because the paint may do extremely well. And he can't be in a well-lit environment because his screen may do poor. So he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Did you notice that when you saw the LG emblem pop up, that his screen was in point black? Because it can't pull black at all, period. It's a gray paint, doesn't have the capability. Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that, but yeah, there it is right there. It's gray. Can't see contrast at all, not a lick of it. See the thin border around the screen? It should be somewhere in that color of this. It should be black. Oh, there's so many ways that can come at him with this thing. Now watch this when it blends in. Even though this screen's darker and this one's lighter, watch the blend. And that's what makes the Network Gray 773 so lethal. Because it has the ability to blend into your screen. And if you're slightly darker than the screen, it can blend easily in with no problem. Now I noticed something too in the video, that he had a red light on this side. He had the red light pointed in the center right here. So this part could wash out faster and maintain the screen. It didn't even work. So at that point, he decided to turn the lights out. You can tell the area is dark because you can see the light pushing up beside the side of the screen. You know, your area is basically dark for these lights to push out. So he had it in a fairly dark environment. Because if he puts it in a fully lit environment, his screen will wash out. That's why you can't do certified screens. Certified screens can generate in high light, well-lit environments. His screen would wash out next to a certified. But this right here, see that match? Can you imagine? This is $30 a gallon. And at the time when he was selling this, this was $85 to $95. You look at that. This is why batch numbers are required. Because everyone who got shipped this paint before this demonstration was done could have went and did that with that house paint right there. If he had a batch number guarantee, this means he would have to work twice as hard to make a product that actually works, because he would have to constantly do these batch numbers all the time. This demonstration was only done one time, so you all know, and it was removed off its account. He removed off its account. Are these demonstrations posted to websites? No. Web demonstrations, test demonstrations, or screen paints, all screen paints need to be posted to the website so the customer can know what he or she is buying. This is extremely important. Now again, I can't say this enough. I know you're going to feel at the end of the day that this is directed towards you. No, it's not directed towards you. Well, in a way it is, and how it's directed towards you. It's a perfect example. Because if I'm talking about why batch numbers are required, why they had to have them, customers want to know, why is a batch number required? Why is it important for these batch numbers to be displayed on cans? And you are the perfect person for this, because again, your product matched the house paint in the middle of a live stream. And batch numbers have to be recorded live. So if you can't pass this basic test, which is a tone paint, gray versus gray, then you should not be selling any products at all, period. Or anyone shouldn't be selling any products, period, if you can't pass it. We shouldn't sell products, period, if we can't pass these tests. Now, of course, you may complain and say, well, you put my face all over. Dude, you're on freaking YouTube. If I detach your head and stick it on a puppet's body and then take that image and slander it and put all kinds of nasty names and things around it and post that over the internet, you could sue me for that. But I don't do that. I basically show the video as it is, without alter, without change. This is exactly how you recorded the video, and this is exactly how we displayed it. Nothing was altered, nothing was changed. So as you can see here, we have an exact match. I mentioned that to him because he does Karen a lot, so that's why. So it matched. And if you look at this, the cardboard box, because he brought it up in a demonstration one time, said get enough with the cardboard box. No, cardboard box match. That is a laser 4K projector. If you're going to say your screen paint is 4K compatible, guess what else is 4K compatible? That box and that And the gray paint, the network gray, is also 4K compatible. Now, this happened in two occasions. It happened with the bare silver screen versus the personal mix, and this is supposed to be his top screen. And the sad thing about it, this individual will go out, get a new projector, hit it on the same screen paint, and say, look, this is a completely different product. Or, no, there's nobody. You can't say that. There has to be testing underneath of it. That's why he had that product called the, you spelled the name wrong. He spelled it as an alpha for omega, as in the, I butchered that, as in the car. He tried to make a new product, put new labels on it, try to make everything was brand. There's no testing under any of that stuff. No batch numbers, nothing at all, period. That's why batch numbers have to be requested. Customers don't want to get ripped off. Customers spend enough money on their projector investments. The last thing they needed to do was to worry about getting ripped off on the screen paint. That's a heck of a match right there. Someone who dropped 90 bucks, even at 50 bucks, you're still spending too much money. You can get that stuff at $30 a gallon. Heck, you can get PPG over at Home Depot at $60 for 5 gallons. I don't know what you're doing to 5 gallons of paint, but yeah. So unless it doesn't have a batch number, don't buy it. Same thing here. Happened twice again. This time he walked out of a Home Depot. Literally walked out of a Home Depot with a container in hand. And this is the personal mix. Now, we've recorded this video just in case the video would go missing. And the video did go missing. They disappeared off his account. You don't hide things unless you have something that you don't want people to see anymore. You want to get rid of it. Because first thing the judge is going to ask you in a fraud case is, where are the videos? And I can say, hey, he deleted the videos off his account. And you can sit there and say, oh, no, I didn't delete anything off my account. Yeah, well, we have video evidence showing you removing videos off your account in live stream. That shows a sign of heavy guilt that you tried to hide evidence. You had to cover it up. No one put a gun to his head. He went out and went to Home Depot. And he brought this product, the bare silver screen, walked clean out of the store with it, goes in and paints the screen down. It matched perfectly to his product. Did this twice on camera. Now, big question is, your screen paint, how do you know if it's guaranteed? If you look at his return policy, he doesn't have a return policy. His policy strictly says that if the product lands on your property, there's no exchange, there's no refund. If you open up the container, how are you going to not know if you don't open the container up? If you open the container up, no exchange, no refund, nothing at all, period. Because he knows that you're going to end up matching that product with some kind of house paint. You can match it to your wall. This basically gives him some kind of guarantee for himself. Not a guarantee for you, a guarantee for himself that he is protected to keep your money. Because there's no exchange. That's why the guy called Matthew, not the other Matthew, but the other Matthew in England, you can see in the bottom of the email, we clearly say, send the product back to us. If he's going to complain about shipping, you didn't pay for shipping for that product. I paid for shipping. All my shipping is free. So I would have paid for the shipping, reimbursed you on your shipping, and shipped it out again. It was like 28 bucks to ship to England. So it wouldn't have been a problem for us to ship it back. He just refused to ship it back. And the reason why he refused, because he put something in the product to make it darker than it was. So what's the problem with sending the product back to us? What's the big problem? We're paying for all shipping. It shouldn't be a problem. That's how we knew first red flag that popped up. The product had batch numbers on it. It was tested, came out of a 5-gallon container. No way to get around that one. And he knew it. So that's why he went in and he filed a claim against PayPal. And came up bragging to me, you're not going to win the case, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, no problem. I sent PayPal the batch numbers, and that was it. That was the end of the case. Now, as you see right here, That's the screen. That's completely washed out. The greens are all washed out. And you'll come back in and you'll see where he basically starts painting the screen, but as he pulls to the curtains, you'll notice the environment has no lights on in the environment. He does a lot of demonstrations in the dark in fear that his screens are going to wash out. Here we go. Now there we go. There's the paint. I'm painting it down to the surface. For those of you who have not seen these videos, you won't, because they're gone. He deleted them off his account. You got to go to the blacklist, or if somebody else uploaded them, which you give people the right to upload the videos that they needed for, basically for anything they need it for. They can upload right from the our blacklist. But the reason why you don't see these videos is because these videos were removed. So if you look at the paint, you'll notice that the bare silver screen is really light. It's so light that it actually looks like it's white. So this would pull the higher white levels. This automatically would be able to pull a little bit darker contrast, but you won't see much of a difference. Not when you're sitting back at around 11 to 12 feet from the screen. And if you notice when he does the demonstration, he's at a finger distance from the screen. So if you have to be that close to the screen to show a difference, that means sitting back from 11 to 12, you won't even see it at all, period. And that's what I'm explaining in the demonstration. So here we are. And you see how close he is to the screen? Anytime we're doing comparison demonstrations, if you have to be that close to the screen, that's never good. You have to be at a distance. You have to be at the same length the projector's sitting on. Let's see, when he stands back, no, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that. Perfect example. Look at the flower. And at that time, I think they were paying around, I think about 80 something dollars. No, maybe $75 at the time, a quart. Now, keep in mind, if someone else that did this demonstration, and it wasn't him, we went over there and we did the exact same thing. If anybody else would have done this demonstration, we'd have went straight to them and say, hey, look, this is what you're going to get, and this batch number is required. But he's the only one who did the demonstration, because he was trying to prove at the end of the day that his product basically doesn't match house paint, and he ended up matching in 2 different occasions, ended up matching house paint. If we did it the first time, common sense would have told you that maybe I need to start, well, not maybe, I should be testing my products to make sure that they don't match house paint. But nope, he figured he could probably get over again. Well, this is what happens when you try to get over. Let me get my customers ready for today. Last one finished for today. Doesn't have a batch number, you don't buy. And that's the reason why you don't buy without that batch number guarantee. Because you need to know 100% that you are getting real screen paint, and you're not buying a product that you can go to the Home Depot or Lowe's and do it yourself. Where in the world is that container? Let's have that last container around here. Just had that last container. Oh, there it is over there. Now, what's going to happen is, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Well, they can't do much. I mean, they do anything. They're under investigation anyway, so ain't jack they can do. But what they should be doing is they should be showing and displaying that their products work. Coming at me, gentlemen, and saying that I'm a scammer or ripping people off, all this stuff, I can back this up in court. I can take you to court and I can sue you on this, which some of you, I am taking you to court and suing you on this. You know, you're going to have to prove these claims are true. And again, we can prove that they're false, what you're saying, because my product is tested. I literally can take you to court and I can sue you for fraud. I purchased enough of your stuff. I can take you to court for fraud easily. you have to be to back up that your product is not fake, that you can back this up 100%. And one thing that's going to ensure, judge that your stuff works is, number one, having years and years of testing, but not only that, those batch numbers help you out in court, a big deal. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do this to begin with, to defend yourself, and then on top of that, to guarantee your product actually works. So instead of you getting mad at me and attacking me, what are you attacking me for? You're attacking me because I'm telling people to look for batch numbers to make sure that the product is tested so they don't get ripped off, and you're attacking me. I thought I was supposed to be the scammer at the end of the day. But you're the ones that are attacking me every time I talk about this. That's what I don't understand. So what's the problem here? If anything, if someone's going to say my product's nothing more than black paint, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go attack them. I'm going to go back up and show that my product's not matching black paint. That's what you do. You back your product. And if you're just busy attacking the other person, that means you can't back your product at all, period. That means he's right. Because you should have been spending your time backing your product, but you weren't. You spent more time attacking me, and this is what got you in trouble. Now you see that match on the contrast? I told you the other screen is lighter. The bear is lighter. And you can see the bear is matching with no problem. That's why I know the difference between the times. Because when I was coming up and we had challenged each other's products, people went in and they backed their products. They went in and said, hey, look, I'm backing mine 100%. They didn't do all that other nonsense. You do that when you can't back your product. That's when you do all that crazy stuff. Well, put it this way, gentlemen. In court, you won't be doing all that crazy stuff. You're going to have to back it. If you can't, it's going to be a lot of trouble if you don't. Other than that, for the consumers, request a batch number. Make sure the product has a batch number on it, and you want to see the live demonstration. In the live demonstration, you want to see it in a fully lit environment, not this dark environment, fully lit environment, because you want to make sure that product's going to work when you get it home. You don't want to open up a curtain, your screen wash out on it. You don't want that crap. Make sure that the product is doing white level comparisons and contrast comparison, which is extremely important. We do white level comparisons all the time in our technology. They have to do contrast comparisons. Also, to make sure, most importantly, in the test, there is a gray versus gray. What is the difference between that product and gray paint? What is the difference between our product and black paint? Also, including, gentlemen, we just gave you the tip of the iceberg when it came to a gray versus gray challenge. Do you know how many different surfaces you have to stick that screen against? We have demonstrations on fabrics, we have demonstrations on different forms of paints, we have fabrics on films, everything you can possibly name, we've done, even clothing. You're going to have to show a lot of tests. You should at least have at least 30 or 40 of these under your belt already. As long as you guys have been around, you should have more than that. You don't have enough demonstrations, you don't even own enough projectors for testing. Now you see, look at that. Look how well that matched. Look at this. Is that frightening or what? That is frightening. That matched perfectly. And mind you, the other screen is lighter than the other one, which pulls a higher white level. And it still matched perfectly. This is why batch numbers are requested. And should have been requested a long time ago. So this is why we're pushing that campaign that batch numbers need to be. They need to be. Because if not, you as a consumer will get ripped off. And for those of you sitting right now thinking, oh, I bought this product already, then you need to get your money back because you need to request some tests on this product. Can you show me a test on this product that is working the way you claim it's working? Now, I know we get naysayers in here that get upset and get angry. Now, he did this video for me. This video was done for me. It wasn't done for his customers. It was done for me. I'm going to show you why. It's a little message he left at the end of the video. This is what the judge will see. This is why you got to be real careful about how you do your videos. You got to be very professional in how you do your videos. Because keep in mind, one of the cases that we have against this individual is challenging his company. There's lawsuits being placed against his company because he committed these acts, these criminal acts, these frauds. He committed them while he was actually operating his company. Committed a lot of these on his website. So now his company is under question. So I'm going to show you, this is the video that the judge will see. When we come before the judge and say, why do you think his product was basically a scam? I said, well, the reason why is because these are videos that we were able to obtain. These are videos that are missing off his account of his product perfectly matching everyday household products. Now, he's going to be asked at the end of the day that, did he remove these? Did he basically do anything for his customers? Did he give any money back? Nothing. Your Honor, he didn't give a dime back. As a matter of fact, he continued to sell the same product. And not only did he do it in this video, but he did it in another video, which means he was practicing the same fraud. Not going to go well. But this is what you left at the end of your video, and this is what the judge is going to see. Look at the match on that. Batch number is required for everybody. That's why. That's nightmarish right there. You should never put that in there, man. That's a bad thing. Judge is going to see that. Those two middle fingers, judge is going to see that. And look what it says at the bottom. It's got your company's name right there, doesn't it? See, that's the reason why his company now is being investigated also, too, because the criminal activities he committed while he was running his company. That's like you owning Best Buy and you robbing a bank with the Best Buy uniform on. You basically tainted your entire company along with it. That's why you have to be professional, you know, basically post people's copyrighted materials on your company site and pornography and all this stuff. He did his site very unprofessionally. Yeah, and this is the kind of image he shows off. And this is what the judge is going to see. But anyway, long story short, that's another topic on its own. We're not running into that right there. What we're talking about here is these batch numbers. Batch numbers are very important. And this is the video that he did, basically trying to back his products, not matching house paint. So that's why batch numbers needed. Now, this doesn't bother me at all, period. This bothers you at the end of the day. It doesn't bother me one bit. This bothers you. And the reason why you're upset and you're angry is because you can't back your products. And if you can't back your products, you shouldn't be selling them. And I mean, ask anybody, not just him, anybody. You should not be selling products if you can't back them. Because the last thing a customer wants to do is get ripped off. Now, you see that image there? I'm going to show you something interesting. Show you how long he's been running this little scam of his. Same video. He uses the same video. Look familiar? There you go. Same video he's been using. And that one years ago, and this one now. That's why batch numbers are required, people. No batch number, don't buy. Stay away from it. Because the product's not tested and you're going to get ripped off like these previous customers got ripped off. These customers get their money back? No. Did they get exchanged? No. You know why? Because this policy clearly says if it lands on your property, it's yours. So guess what? No exchange. You can get around that, but that's what he has on his site. If they opened it, and you know they opened it because they have to use it, then guess what? They can't get anything back. And can he back it 100%? They won't match house paint? No, he cannot. He couldn't even back it for himself. So that's why you don't do that. That's why you require batch numbers. And it's not just with him. You don't want to single out him. It's not just with him. It's with anyone. You should have one of these little numbers right here. Let me put this in a little better. You should have one of these numbers just like this, matching a video that's timestamped that goes along with that to show that that product was tested. Also, too, you should be able to have the person who made the product able to pull up videos showing the product was tested before it was sold. Now, gentlemen, I know you're going to cut corners on this. You're probably thinking of ways to cut corners and get around a batch number, but let me explain something to you here. You're not going to do this demonstration in a dark environment. You're going to do it in a fully lit environment so we can see how the contrast levels and colors play out. Because we don't want what happened to the other individual who had a 3500 lumen 4K projector and his screen completely washed out at 200 inches. So you have to do these in fully lit environments. Lots of light in the environment. You're going to have to do these at color levels and a lot of contrast levels. On our end, we have to do a lot of white levels because we have black screens. You'll be doing a ton of contrast to show exactly where your contrast levels lay. Because you can't go on there and say that, okay, I'm doing this demonstration. I got the one with the black makeup. You have this posted to the site. You're showing up very high contrast levels. But yet in the demonstration we see over here with the LG logo in the back, your screen came up gray. That doesn't work too well. So you have to show how your product actually pulls. If you did honest demonstrations, okay, the contrast levels are light gray or kind of a mid gray. It doesn't have very good ambient light environment. Stop opening up doors and windows. That's fraud at the end of the day because your screens really don't work in that kind of environment. Have it in a really well-lit environment that the customer will have it in, and show a lot of demonstrations on contrast, showing where your contrast levels lay, that way you're honest with the customer. So if the customer comes back and says, hey, the blacks aren't really that dark, he says, well, I can show you in the demonstration, this is what we displayed. We're being honest with you 100%. Instead of going there and doing this demonstration in a dark environment, boosting up your contrast on that 2 million to 1 projector, and then doing those demonstrations, you committed fraud. Because what about a customer who doesn't own that projector? This is why we don't use expensive model machines. Because if a person doesn't own that projector, that means in order for them to hit that contrast level, they will have to own that projector, which means they're not saving money. They have to spend more in order to get the same contrast that you displayed in the video. That's why we use low entry level projectors, because anyone has a projector better than the ones that I use. And if we can make the image look that good on that old projector back there, we know it's going to look fantastic on your newer projector. And even if you have an older projector, it's still going to look amazing. Not by boosting the projector up to have an extremely expensive machine, where if the customer doesn't have a 2 million to 1, there's no way in the world they're going to reach that plateau at a 4,000 to 1 or 3,000 to 1, especially on a gray screen. Black screens don't have that issue because we're 100% black. So whatever projector you choose, you will be on 2 million to 1 contrast. So this is the reason why when I watch high power projectors, medieval dark environment, and really short, poor demonstrations, not explaining a lot because the person doesn't know too much, this tells you from the door, these are red flags that are popping up all over the place. So now we are going to push on every forum site, everywhere we go, that batch numbers are requested. And one of the things you're going to do on that batch number live, you will do a gray versus gray, as we do black versus black. This person is going to pull out he's not going to be around anyway. It doesn't make a difference. He's not going to be around. But anyway, anyone else, just tell you from the door, if you haven't done a gray versus gray, now you're going to have to. You have no choice. Because any customer, if you go out and you buy one of these products and it doesn't have a batch number, it's not tested, then guess what? You get ripped off. That's your problem at the end of the day. You need to protect yourself when you're buying screen paint. You need to buy and know what you're buying at the end of the day. Everybody wants to guarantee. No one wants to get ripped off. Paint's expensive. Even if it's 50 bucks, it's 60 bucks, and if it's 100 or 200, it's all expensive at the end of the day. It's your money coming out of your pocket. You want to make sure you get what you paid for. All right, people. I got customers to take care of. I got orders to get out the door, and I got new batch numbers to start drawing up because we got new products coming in. I know probably got new orders coming in. And my customers at the end of the day, they get a 100% guarantee. Now, I don't know how you're dealing with it in the day. You spend a lot of money on your projector, a lot of money on your investment in the day. You want to get what you paid for. You took the time and effort to go find the perfect projector for your setup and to make sure your projector is guaranteed to work. So the same thing should follow behind with your screen paints. They should be guaranteed to work. If they're not and there's no batch number, then you don't buy. That's what you do. All right, got to go. Thank you all, and God bless.